Hey everyone, Jim from Ballpark Nation coming to you from Southwest University Park, home of your El Paso Chihuahuas. We are finally out to what I think is the best ballpark in the state of Texas. And I know what you're thinking. Jim, you're from Texas. How come it's taken you 7 years on the road visiting baseball, 2 for Ballpark Nation? Here's the thing, guys. Texas is big. Just to put it in perspective, if I leave my driveway in Austin, Texas and drive to LA, El Paso is halfway there. Halfway to California, and this Texan thinks it's a little too close to California. I kid for my California fans out there. The ballpark is beautiful, the food is amazing, the drink is incredible, but what's even better are the people, the staff, the people that are actually running the show here. This place has to be on your must-visit list, and so now, sit back and enjoy a little bit of my time with the El Paso Chihuahuas.
The Ballpark, a place where legends are born, where pitchers throw heat and hitters drop bombs. The home of mud hens, sod poodles, chihuahuas, flying bison, and sea wolves. This is Ballpark Nation, your home for baseball from sea to shining sea. And now your hosts. He couldn't crack the starting lineup of his JV high school baseball team, and she's never met a ballpark wiener she didn't like. Here are Jim Christopher and Alyssia Rivera.
And welcome everybody back to the second episode of Ballpark Nation. I'm your host, Jim Christopher. We're going to turn to today. We've got Alyssia Rivera as usual. We got a fun episode today.
Yeah, we have the San Diego Padres and the El Paso Chihuahuas. Now, the thing that both of these cities have in common are they both have bases in their city. And I understand that you, Jim, were actually in the Army. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so 7-year Army veteran. And yeah, both teams that we're covering today have military bases in the community. And that you see that all over minor league baseball. And it's always something that's kind of near and dear to my heart, in part because what it does, Lish, is it provides normalcy for people that are away from home, doing jobs that are not normal. In some cases, most of the time preparing for war or just coming back from war. And so I even remember just stationed in Oklahoma, getting to see the Oklahoma City Redhawks, which it was so long ago that they were the Oklahoma City Redhawks, then they were the Oklahoma City Dodgers, and now they think they're the Oklahoma City Comets. So I think we're coming to y'all in season 3, so I'll know the name by then. But yeah, it's really nice because it provides this routine that makes you feel like you're at home. And I compare it to, like, if you're traveling overseas, I know you're Catholic as well, and you go to a Catholic mass, it feels like home, even if you're not home. So yeah, it was definitely a great experience, and I cannot wait to show these ballparks.
Yeah, and I love that about baseball across the nation. They always have, military appreciation.
Yeah, it's funny to me because sometimes each team does it differently. Like some teams, like every veteran stand up, and sometimes it's just the one. But I had a funny story. My brother Tim.
Yeah.
So it was right after Hurricane Katrina. We had gone to the Astros had a doubleheader. And before the doubleheader, they brought out their veteran of the game, and my brother starts getting steamy. He's like, I don't get it. That guy was only in the Army for 3 years, and he's an E5, and you were in for 7, and you were in E6, and you went to Bosnia. And I said, Tim, look at the years. That was the Korean War. We're going to go ahead and let him have this one. But no, we've got a great episode for you today. We can't wait to show you some Chihuahuas baseball and some Padres baseball.
Ballpark Nation presents Chasing Grand Slams, our favorite ballparks from across the country and around the world.
In the far west corner of Texas, where desert sunsets paint the sky and the Rio Grande winds through the borderlands, baseball has found a home like no other. Southwest University Park, home of your El Paso Chihuahuas, is more than just a minor league ballpark. It's a symbol of community pride, city revitalization, and the joy of the game in the desert. The Chihuahuas arrived in 2014 as the Triple-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres, and with them came a brand new ballpark built right into downtown El Paso. Southwest University Park was more than a stadium. It was part of a larger vision to bring life, energy, and entertainment into the heart of the city. Architecturally, the park reflects the Southwest itself. Desert-toned stone, steel, and open-air design tie it seamlessly to El Paso's landscape. From the stands, you see the Franklin Mountains rising in the distance. At night, with the city skyline just beyond the outfield wall, it's one of the most stunning backdrops in all of minor league baseball. And one of the few, if only, where you can see two countries at one time. Now, the Chihuahuas might be new-ish to town, but baseball's roots in El Paso run deep. Professional teams have been playing here since the early 1900s. The Diablos, the Sun Kings, and others carried the torch for generations of fans. The Chihuahuas' playful name and vibrant identity connect to that long history, while giving El Paso a fresh symbol of pride on the national stage. The seating inside Southwest University Park is intimate and inviting. The lower bowl wraps close to the field. Suites and club levels give fans premium options with wide views of the city, and out beyond the outfield, grassy berms and standing patios let families and groups stretch out while still being part of the action. And here's something that makes the park truly special. You don't need to stay in your seat to enjoy the game. The Big Dog House, a sprawling outfield patio bar, has become one of the most popular gathering spots. Fans post up with local craft beer, they lean against the rail and watch the action unfold with the city skyline as the backdrop. It's part ballpark, part social hub, all fun. On game day, the park transforms into a fiesta. Theme nights bring out the fun, whether it's Star Wars night, fireworks shows, or regional celebrations that highlight El Paso's culture. Families, students, and diehards fill the stands, and Chico the Chihuahua keeps the energy high from the first pitch to the last out. The food scene matches the city's flavor. From classic ballpark hot dogs and nachos to authentic Tex-Mex tacos, the concessions celebrate borderland cuisine. Local craft beers and margaritas flow through the concourse, giving fans a taste of El Paso with every bite and sip. From micheladas to variations on the hot dog to food served in actual dog bowls, it's hard not to have a blast while eating at the El Paso Chihuahuas. Merchandise, merch, the gear, the stuff, that's another highlight. The Chihuahuas' bold, playful brand has become one of the best-selling identities in all of minor league baseball. From fiery red and black caps to family-friendly mascot gear to alternate identities including the margaritas for Copa de la Diversión, fans across the country proudly wear the Chihuahuas logo. In El Paso, it's not just a merch, it's a badge of city pride. And as such, the El Paso fans are a great traveling fan base because you'll see Chihuahuas gear at every Triple-A ballpark. The social scene doesn't end at the gate though. Southwest University Park helps spark a renaissance in downtown El Paso. Bars, restaurants, and music venues buzz on game nights, turning the area into a block party atmosphere. Baseball here isn't just a game, it's part of the city's rhythm. The Chihuahuas also give back in a major way. Through community outreach, the team supports youth baseball programs, local schools, and charities across the region. From food drives and scholarship funds to hospital visits and mascot appearances, the Chihuahuas play as important a role on the field as they do off of it. And on the game we were there, the front office spent all the morning before the game working for Habitat for Humanity and then showed up and still put on a great show. Southwest University Park is more than a ballpark. It's a celebration of El Paso, its history and culture, baseball and community, all set against the desert sky. And for ballpark hunters like myself, a visit to see the Chihuahuas is more than just a stop. It's an experience you'll never forget. And it ranks as one of my favorite, not just Triple-A ballparks and not just minor league ballparks, but one of my favorite ballpark experiences in the whole country.
Well, what are you asking me for?
I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. Who is on first?
I'm asking you who's on first.
That's the man's name.
That's whose name?
Yes.
Well, go ahead and tell me.
Who?
The guy on first.
Who?
The first baseman.
Who is on first?
Have you got a first baseman on first?
Certainly.
Then who's playing first?
Absolutely.
Ballpark Nation presents Who's on First? We talk to the people behind the greatest game ever invented.
We got Brad Taylor. He is the Senior Vice President ACN, General Manager. Explain to the people, this doesn't mean you can get us a new second baseman. What is a general manager at the minor league level?
Yeah, really, at the minor league level, it's not about the players. We're here to facilitate the players and to make their stay easier and to help them do their jobs the best they can so they can get out of here and get up to the big leagues. But my job is to make sure I'm overseeing the business and making sure we're doing the proper things with how we market the team, selling tickets, creating corporate partnerships, creating community partnerships, engaging in good retail and merchandising. And I'm proud to say we're the #1 merchandise minor league team in the country.
And my credit card should be crying here in about so I get it.
Shit that. And then also just making sure we run a safe and sound building to make sure the fans want to continue to come back to a clean and safe environment.
I got to sneak in last night for the game, and so I had a really need that chance to fully explore. But this is a minor league ballpark like I don't know that I've ever seen it. I've been to probably 100. This building itself is pretty special.
I'm very biased. I think this is the best minor league ballpark in the country, and I've been to a lot of them. But this one has a lot of unique characteristics. It is asymmetrical. There are a lot different sides of seats on the third base side than there are on the first base side. And we are bound by 3 roads and a railroad. Therefore, we can't go out, but we go up, which is why this is a tall facility. And I think it gives it the appearance of being more major league-like in feel because of that. We go up instead of out. But this is still the 7,100 best seats you might have in a major league park. And then we're fortunate enough in right field to have a building that looks like the Western Meadow building out of Petco, except ours is called the Big Dog House.
I'm excited about getting into the Big Dog House, but you're right. It going up. When I was sitting here last night, I could have sworn it was a 15,000 seat facility.
Oh, it feels like one, and that's the other thing. The fans in El Paso bring enough energy that it sounds like a 15,000 seat facility. Just last night, we had a great game, very exciting, and at the end, the crowd was really into it. But it is intimate. It has a great feel. I don't think there's a bad seat in this place, and we've got something for everybody. Budget, no matter what, we've got green seats out in the outfield, on up to seats on the sides or right behind home plate or here in the club.
Let's talk a little bit about how you get everybody in. What's kind of cool about El Paso is, in many ways, El Paso is a microcosm. It's a very diverse place. There's a lot going on. What are you guys doing to appealing to all the different types of people that are coming here? I mean, obviously you have a large Latin American population, but you get the military coming in. I mean, how does that game work to make sure that you're El Paso's team forever?
Yeah. I think one of the things that makes El Paso so special and what it is that the people here are so familial. They're very social. They love to have a good time. They watch out for your kids. You know, my kids were 5 and 8 when we moved here. I now have one of them's a sophomore at college at Texas Tech and one of them's a junior high school. But growing up and playing Little League or going to class with other kids, they watch after each other. And they like to be social. They like to go to parties. They like to have events. So I think part of the experience here is we've been cognizant of having a food and beverage experience that's a little unlike other minor league ball.
I ate out of a dog bowl.
Exactly. That's it. You probably had some really good nachos out of the dog bowl. If you want a hot dog or a hamburger, we have that. But we've also got, you know, a Cadillac hot dog wrapped in bacon, topped with barbecue and beans, right? So we make sure we're really kind of cognizant that the food experience is a little bit different, a little bit unique to embrace what's here in the region.
I wanted to talk a little bit about Copa, and only from the perspective of I love Copa, but I love Copa in Texas, and I love to hear Texas GMs talk about Copa in, say, the Midwest, where there's not a lot of Hispanic flavor. You guys ran with the margaritas for the longest time. A lot of the teams in Texas have had a lot of fun with it. How cool was it? You already have an identity that connects the Latin American population anyway, to get to have a little bit of fun with your Copa dance.
Well, it's funny, you know, as we're coming up, like, you know, what should we be? What should our Copa identity be? And the first thing Major League Baseball and minor league baseball at the time asked us is like, well, why not be Los Chihuahuas? And I'm like, he Los Chihuahuas every day. We're already that. And we had a different colorway, you know, one that was represented with the Mexican colors, red, green, and black, right? But we thought, we want to have our own unique identity. And we got to thinking for a quick minute and thought, what's this area known for? Everybody says the margarita was either invented in El Paso or Juarez, and either way, they're a stone's throw apart. So let's just let whoever claims it that wants it, but let's be the margaritas and celebrate that with fun things built around that brand.
You guys made a lime green uniform look good, like I'm not sure anybody else could.
Yeah, we did. You know, I thought if we're going to do this margarita, we're going full pitcher. We're going to wear pants and jerseys that are the same color. And, you know, truth be told, we might be looking at fine-tuning our Copa identity a little bit next year. But yeah, the margaritas evolved from a lime flavor to now we're a strawberry flavor margaritas. We'd like to have some fun with it.
My margarita choice. I'm a vet. You guys are close to Fort Bliss. And one of the things I maintain every iteration of this show is that the best part about baseball for a soldier is for 3 hours, it's like you're at home. You don't have to think about the mission, and it's familiar. So how much of that do you guys think about whenever you're putting together a season of you've got a bunch of people that are transplants? Sure, here.
That's a great question. And I had the great fortune of working with a gentleman named Buck Rogers when I was in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Go look back. Buck, yeah, exactly. But at the time, we were the Generals, Fayetteville Generals. And Buck was coming out of the airborne, and I remember him telling how many hundreds of jumps he made. And it was time to retire at the age, I think at that point, he was almost 40. And he wanted to get into like something fun. And I said, hey, I could use some help here at the ballpark. Like, what kind of things are you good at? And I thought, man, this guy could probably be our military liaison to go talk to the soldiers in only a way he can talk to the soldiers. And so we learned about the BOSS program. We learned about, you know, being out there for PT and maybe having the mascot waving to them when they're running through the base. And we also learned that anybody's snapshot of a city should just be what the base is. Let's get them off base and get them to the ballpark. So I kind of brought some of that with me here to El Paso and thought, you know, what are the programs we can mimic that I've learned in the past? And just last night, we had the GECU American Hero that we honored here. We do a salute to the troops prior to the anthem every single night. And I would say almost weekly, there's a group from Fort Bliss here. We've had people enlist, re-enlist. Oh, that's hail and farewells here at the ballpark. So we're big on supporting them because they are a vital and integral part.
You guys, it's hard to timestamp this episode because I never know when they're dropping. But this morning, you guys showed what minor league baseball is all about. Can you explain where you guys were this morning, starting at 6 a.m., I think, for some of you to tell?
We had a large crew today, God bless them, that volunteer. And part of what we do is go out and we help the community. And today was a day to go help a person that owned a house that's just physically not able to paint, sand some corners, clean up their yard. And we spent hours out there today making sure that we were helping and kind of renewing that house with them, giving it a fresher, cleaner look, cleaning up their yard for them. And that's something that we just like to do every now and again. One of our mantras here is make the community better, participate. People ask why we do that, and we say it's simple because we live here and our kids go to school with your kids, and we want this place to be as great for our family as it is for yours.
That's the best answer I've ever had to that question. All right, last question. No, 2 more questions, sorry. Theme nights are important. We've already talked a little bit about COBA. I've got a couple of El Paso Star Wars night jerseys from years ago, that auctions and things.
Sure.
What are some of your favorites?
You know, it's funny. Those jersey auctions allow us to do a couple things. It allows us to be creative and timely with things that are relevant to the world or what's going on. You know, I know later this year, we're going to have Shooter McGavin out here, and that's going to be right around, you know, the release of Happy Gilmore 2.
I'm pretty upset that my point of contact didn't tell me about that before I came down here.
So we're big on trying to do things that are fun, topical, relevant, or that just honor certain groups of people. Like tonight is Minecraft night. You know, lots of people and lots of kids and young adults like Minecraft. So tonight, headshots are going to be Minecraft characters of our players. The music for our fireworks show tonight will be Minecraft themed. I think one of the things we've become very good at here is when we dive into a promotion, we try to live it all the way through the promotion. So that it's just, we have special food offerings tonight, like creeper fries, like we're buying in on the whole thing. But I love the jersey auctions because the backside of that is the auction component goes into our foundation. And that's money that all gets spent here locally with local 501c3s and those that need it.
Like, I remember going to a Halloween night at a ballpark, and a bunch of us dressed up, but the staff didn't. Like, it was so, and that's just a weirdo dressed like buyers.
Yeah, if you're here at the games tonight, you'll walk around, you'll see various people, I'm sure, wearing their favorite Minecraft stuff. We encourage them to do that. And it's not just the front office staff, the game day staff, the bartenders, the suite attendants, you know, everybody that's here is welcome to participate in what we're doing because we want the night to feel as good as it could feel on the topic of the day that we've chosen to do.
Last night I popped in and I was talking to one of the guys, one of the ushers. He couldn't be more proud of where he worked, could have been more proud of this team. How much of that as a leader is it your job to make sure that everybody feels like a buy-in to the Chihuahuas community?
Culture is critical to everything we do here. And I think one of the things we've really been big on throughout the whole way is that hopefully we have servant leadership and we allow collaborative thinking. And no matter where you fall, is your goal here, We want your contributions. We want your input. We want you to be heard. You're going to hear things from fans we don't hear, and to share that with us. But I will tell you, this is probably the easiest place I've ever worked to hire good people to be guest service representatives, because by nature, El Pasoans are just innately very nice people, very caring people, as I alluded to earlier, and they're very prideful people. And, you know, that shows through with how they feel about their ballpark. And when they call it my ballpark, I love that. I want them to take ownership and feel good about being here and working here. But I think we also see it through merchandising. People are really proud to wear the El Paso brand when they travel or they get out of town and come back.
You have a national brand. Okay, after the fireworks, I'm going to walk out of the ballpark. It'll be my first full experience. What do you want me to have felt walking out?
Hopefully you don't remember what the score is unless it's a really great walk-off win, because our mantra is to try to make sure we are entertaining you the entire game, and that baseball's part of it, but we isolate ourselves from what you see on the field of play. We figure we're doing our job the best. If you walk out of here thinking about how good the food was, how fun the DZIEDZIC was, how funny the thing on the video board might have been, or how cool the uniforms were that the players will wear, then maybe you might remember that we won or lost the game. It needs to be an entertainment experience for us.
Ballpark Nation presents Chasing Grand Slams, our favorite ballparks from across the country and around the world.
Rising out of downtown San Diego, where the Pacific breeze drifts across the skyline, stands Petco Park, home of the San Diego Padres since 2004. It's a stadium that instantly redefined what a ballpark could be, an open-air jewel box that's as much a part of the city as the beaches and the bay. Before Petco, the Padres shared the cavernous Qualcomm Stadium with football. Like most cities and teams of the era, dual purpose was the name of the game. After Camden Yards opened in Baltimore, expectations for what a ballpark could be changed. But the team and the city dreamed of something better, a ballpark that reflected San Diego's spirit. When the gates of Petco opened in 2004, fans stepped into more than a stadium. They stepped into a landmark built to celebrate baseball in Southern California all at once. Architecturally, Petco Park is a masterpiece of modern design, blended with historic character. The old Western Metal Supply Company building, a 1909 brick warehouse, wasn't torn down. It was woven into the stadium itself, serving as a left field cornerstone with seats, suites, and a rooftop deck. The rest of the park gleams with San Diego sandstone, white steel, and lines that open wide to the skyline, the harbor, and the Coronado Bridge. It's equal parts timeless and contemporary. The seating options are as diverse as the city itself, from the field-level luxury behind home plate to the panoramic views from the upper deck. There's a seat for every kind of fan. Families flock to the Park at the Park, a grassy hillside beyond center field where kids can play while parents keep an eye on the action. Out in right field, the Budweiser left field loft delivers a party deck vibe, while suites and club seats offer first-class comfort. No matter where you sit, the game feels close and the views are unforgettable. On game day, Petco Park hums with energy. Theme nights and promotions bring the city together, whether it's Star Wars night, Fiesta in the Park, college nights, or the beloved Friday night fireworks lining up the Gaslamp District. The crowd is a mix of lifelong Padres fans, military families, college students, and visitors chasing a taste of the San Diego lifestyle. The role the Padres play for the Navy and Marine families in San Diego is essential. Baseball offers a bit of home to the men and women who are often serving far from it. I spoke to my co-host about that very thing.
It provides this routine that makes you feel like you're at home. And I compare it to, like, if you're traveling overseas, I know you're Catholic as well, and you go to a Catholic mass, it feels like home, even if you're not home.
It's not just baseball, it's a block party with 40,000 of your closest friends. And then there's the food, and I don't just mean the wieners. Petco Park is often ranked among the very best ballparks to eat and drink in America. Local flavors lead the way, from fish tacos to tri-tip to Huda's legendary burritos. San Diego's craft beer scene flows through every concourse with dozens of local breweries represented. Whether you're sipping Ballast Point IPA or trying bacon-wrapped hot dog with a California twist, the culinary experience is just as memorable as the game itself. The Padres' return to the classic brown and gold uniforms has sparked a merchandise renaissance. Inside the team store, you'll find throwback jerseys, limited edition caps, and Friar-themed gear that's as stylish on the streets as it is in the stands. For collectors, Petco is a goldmine. Every corner of the park offers exclusive keepsakes that celebrate the Padres' history and identity. But what truly sets the Padres apart is their role in the San Diego community. Through the Padres Foundation, the team invests in youth baseball, education, health, and social justice programs across the region. Military Appreciation Nights honor the city's proud naval and marine presence, while fundraising events and outreach initiatives make sure the Padres' impact stretches far beyond the field. The Padres aren't just a team, they're a neighbor, a partner, and a source of pride. Now, did we mention there are puppies? Petco Park isn't just a ballpark, it's a love letter to San Diego, a place where history and modern design collide, where food, baseball, and community come together under the California sky. For ballpark hunters, it's not just worth the trip, it's unforgettable.
Ballpark Nation presents Raiders of the Lost Diamond, digging up the lost treasures of baseball's past.
Welcome to Ballpark Nation. I'm your host, Alyssia, and on this week's Raiders of the Lost Diamond, Jim digs into the baseball story of El Paso, Texas.
There you go. Now you're all nice and clean. Sorry, just cleaning our fertility idol. I keep this in the office. I don't want it anywhere near our bedroom. Hey everybody, Indiana Jim Christopher here, welcoming you to Raiders of the Lost Diamond, presented by Ballpark Nation. This is our look into the rich history of baseball. Now this episode, we're going to be following that really cool Indiana Jones dotted line map thing all the way to the West Texas town of El Paso as we look at one of the coolest areas when it comes to baseball history, an area that maybe you don't know about, but that's been playing baseball at an organized level for well over 100 years. We actually started to see organized baseball in El Paso in the 1890s, and this existed the way baseball existed in so many towns all over the country. A lot of work leagues, in this instance, the copper industry, but a lot of times you would see companies play each other or groups of people that, you're out, you're working in the mines, you're doing whatever, and you need something to take your mind off things. Movies aren't a thing, TV's not a thing, radio's not really a thing, but what people could do was play baseball. And it's actually interesting because it mirrors just how baseball got started in the first place. It was mining camps, soldiers in the Civil War. Basically, anytime they had some downtime, they'd pick up a ball, they'd pick up a bat, and they'd get after it. And that's exactly how you saw it get started in El Paso, again, in the copper industry. Now, we had a lot of organized baseball with some pretty cool, pretty interesting team names. With the El Paso Soldiers, the El Paso Browns, the El Paso Mavericks, the El Paso Texans. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. The Texans? Isn't that just a dumb NFL name in the city of Houston? Not only is the name the Houston Texans dumb, it's not even all that original. I mean, you had baseball teams. You even had another football team called the Texans. And we'll talk about that one on the next edition of Raiders of the Lost Gridiron. You get teams like the El Paso Dodgers because they were an affiliate of the Dodgers, the El Paso Sun Kings, and then the most famous iteration of baseball in El Paso, the El Paso Diablos, and then that carried right into the era of baseball we know today, the era. But El Paso had some really cool baseball moments that weren't just in the professional ranks. In 1949, a team called the Bowie 49ers, which was in a segregated high school, won the Texas State Championship, which was a really big movement for desegregation in Texas. Again, for those of you who don't know, segregation meant that you had white high schools, and then you had high schools for people that were not white. And it was such a big deal for a high school made up of essentially Mexican-American students go out and win the state championship. It hadn't been done before, and it was a real start towards equality, especially in the game of baseball, which desegregated at the major league level in about 5 or 6 years. It was an interesting kind of first salvo in the war of desegregation, even though at the time it probably wasn't seen that way. One of the interesting things you had back in baseball's early days was barnstorming, and that was when you would see a lot of major league players, maybe in the off season, play exhibition games or sometimes play for whole separate teams and just kind of make a little extra money in the off season by traveling around. And El Paso saw lots of players move through El Paso, both as barnstorming and playing in the minor leagues there. They saw players like Willie Mays and Ernie Banks and Hank Aaron all playing exhibition games at Dudley Stadium. In the 80s and 90s, though, El Paso's baseball heart was really grabbed by that iteration of the El Paso Diablos. The Diablos are still such a part of the El Paso culture that the El Paso Chihuahuas make a point of always having Diablos gear in stock. It probably shouldn't surprise any of you to know that I am an owner of several items of the El Paso Diablos, including a pretty amazing jersey. But in 2014, baseball history changed again in El Paso when they became a Triple-A club, moving into the Southwest University Park ballpark that they play in today, one of my favorite ballparks on the planet, and became the team that you know, the El Paso Chihuahuas. Yes, the Chihuahuas absolutely embraced the future and moved forward, but they also recognized that baseball is a game with one foot in the future, one foot in the past, and the Chihuahuas do an amazing job of making sure that all eras of Chihuahuas baseball are relevant and respected.
Ballpark Nation presents 5 Tool Territory, 5 good reasons to love baseball's hometown.
We're visiting the West Texas town of El Paso. Here are 5 fun facts about El Paso, Texas. Number 1, it's closer to California than to Houston. Geography flex, El Paso sits in the far western tip of Texas. It's actually closer to LA than it is to Houston, which tells you just how massive Texas really is. Number 2, a mountain range that runs through the city. The Franklin Mountain State Parks is one of the largest urban state parks in the country. You can hike rugged desert trails with sweeping views literally inside city limits. Number 3, ancient rock art lives here. At Hueco Tank State Park, an historic site, you'll find thousands of pictographs created by indigenous peoples over centuries. It's also world famous for bouldering. It might shock you to know, I'm not the guy who boulders. Number 4, it's a true border culture blend. El Paso sits across the Rio Grande from Juarez, Mexico. The region functions as one of the largest binational communities with deep Mexican heritage influencing food, language, music, and daily life. Number 5, you can ride a tram up a mountain. Don't want to hike? The Weiler Aerial Tramway takes you nearly 5,000 feet above sea level for panoramic desert views stretching into 3 states and 2 countries.
Ballpark Nation presents 5 Tool Territory, 5 good reasons to love baseball's hometown.
Now, San Diego is nicknamed America's finest city, and it's hard to argue. When you land in San Diego, you're greeted with a beautiful town with a lot to do. And in this edition of 5 Tools, rather than focus on a broad spectrum of fun facts about San Diego, we wanted to focus in on 2 stops that Alyssia and I took when we were down there to see the Padres. Now, we had to visit the iconic San Diego Zoo, and it did not disappoint. I've never been, but have always wanted to go, thanks in large part to Jack Hanna showing up on all manner of talk shows when I was a kid with some random form of animal, usually a monkey or something. What we were greeted with in the San Diego Zoo was just an iconic collection of some really beautiful animals. Highlights for me were the amazing tigers, the elephants, the hippopotamus, and even though I couldn't get the best picture, it was so cool to see a panda in real life. The San Diego Zoo is definitely something you should visit at least once in your lifetime. Now, maybe not so obviously on everybody's radar, but definitely something for me as a major history guy. I was thrilled to get a look at San Diego's naval history. From monuments dedicated to all the sailors and Marines from San Diego who lost their lives in World War II, to a dedication to the ship, the USS San Diego, to even a statue of one of the most iconic images out of World War II. History was all over the San Diego waterfront. But for me, I was blown away by the USS Midway. Now, I have visited aircraft carriers before, and they're all very cool, but the Midway was just a great collection of naval history. From an impressive collection of naval aircraft, highlighted by the E-2C Hawkeye, the A-6 Intruder, and of course, the granddaddy of them all, the F-14 Tomcat. Yes, I'm of that age, and I'm not sure I enlisted in the military at all if Top Gun had never come out. One of the big highlights, in fact, was a setup of an F-14 Tomcat that you could actually sit in. But this was more than a museum. Below deck, they offered real cool experiences like actually going through the process of planning a night raid in Iraq, based on an actual mission. The USS Midway is a must-see for all history buffs out there. I think it's worth the trip to San Diego on its own. There's so much to do in San Diego, so much to eat, to drink, to see. It has so much to offer that its nickname of America's finest city is more than just a great marketing campaign. It might very well be the truth. So that does wrap up this episode. Lish, can we begin to reflect at just how amazing San Diego was?
I loved it. It felt like a backyard barbecue with your family. Being in that ballpark, you instantly just felt like one. I mean, I became a huge Padres fan that day. So
I definitely did too. I have room for a National League team because that's how I do things. Now, I wanted to tuck you a little bit though. You left something at the famous Top Gun bar, and I was, tell a little bit about the bar and what people do that serve our country.
yeah. So at the Top Gun Bar, Kansas City Barbecue, when you walk in, there's patches of military, police from all over the world. My father is a police officer. He's constable in Nueces County, also a USMC Marine. And so
Former Marine, not a veteran,
Not a
not
vet-
ex-Marine.
no, there is no ex-Marine.
They get real fiery.
Yeah. And so I travel a lot, and my dad's a fighter. He beat cancer. He, had a kidney transplant. But I love to take a piece of my dad everywhere, I go. If I'm at a bar by myself, if there's some type of military police patch there in the wall, that's where I'm gonna sit. So I decided to start this thing that when I travel, I take my dad's police patches with me and I put them on the walls. So there at the Kansas City Barbecue, they allowed me to put his patch, and it's a special patch, it's got a little eagle globe on it, put it there on the wall. So now every time I go to San Diego, I sit there at that bar and I have a drink with my dad.
So make sure next time you go, because you absolutely should be going to see both the
Yeah.
Chihuahuas and the Padres, make sure you go sit at the bar. For Lish, I'm your host, Jim Christopher. We're going to see you next time. Until then, enjoy some great baseball. We'll see you at the ballpark.
For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old